Good afternoon, students. Welcome to Unacademy YouTube. I hope you all are doing safe, sound, and in good health. Let's just wait for everyone to join in and then we will begin. Okay, I think let's begin. We've waited for good 3 to 2 minutes. Hi, hello, Sahidep. Hi, Sahibdeep. How are you? Yes, I was just trying to get in my phone YouTube on as well so that I can read your comments. Hello, I'm good. Hi, Sachin. Hello, beta. What happened? Say something. Yes, yes, yes. Very good afternoon. Welcome to the class, beta. All right, okay. Let's just quickly begin. So, guys, the last day of 2020. I know it's kind of special. I know everybody wants this year to get over and begin a new great year. I am good, beta. Thank you so much. I hope you are good as well. I hope your family is also good. I hope everybody is in great, good, safe health. Okay, so I welcome you all for our class on discussion on the methods of inquiry in psychology. Psychology, of course. Last time we have done this chapter, we did the part one where we finished everything. This one is a Q&A kind of class where you can even ask your doubts. You can ask if you have any specific question still not understood. Thank you, Saibdeep. Wishing you a new year in advance as well, beta. God bless you. Okay. Now let me give you the quick Unacademy features. What is better than having the safety of your home and lying on the couch on the sofa and having the phone in your hands and watching the live session and watching this YouTube video right now? Because Unacademy brings to you the best of living and learning from the comfort of your home with unlimited access to, of course, the courses which we have, which are in n numbers, not just limited to your CBSE class 11 12 part. In every single sphere and category we have n number of courses. Okay, we have top educators of India under one platform, exhaustive coverage of syllabus, which you guys have to understand that there are regular doubt clearing sessions. People will help you no matter how many times you ask. There are live test series. We have some subjective test series also which are coming soon. Okay, answer writing sessions which we make you practice so that you ace your final examinations. Okay, and yes, we have many more things which you probably will go through if you have a look at the new courses which we have launched. um, we also have launched entrepreneurship. By the way, I'm taking entrepreneurship for class 11 12 as well. Go ahead and check it on my profile. Let your friends also know. Unacademy Iconic is the next level baby which we have brought, and here we have given you a personal mentor who is basically going to help you get through your problems on a one-on-one level, because there are people who find it very difficult to study in a group, and for them we have brought this iconic subscription where your parents can be rest assured that okay, you are being treated properly and you will get that attention which is required. You will get that guidance which you crave for, and you will have all the benefits of plus platform basically. But yeah, you'll have the weekly reports. You'll have live doubt clearing sessions where you can feel comfortable and you can plan your study schedule basically, what I'm trying to say here. So because you can plan things, it will be very easy for you to understand everything on a one-on-one basis, or of course. Okay, so this is Unacademy's iconic subscription which redefines the mentorship and ensures a hands-on training, which we are happy to present. Very good afternoon, Anugya. How are you? Oh, Jagriti, hi. How are you, beta? Long time. Where were you? I'm glad you've attended today's class. How are you doing, beta? How are you, Jagriti? How are your studies going? How are your New Year preparations going? At least class 12 students, I can't ask this. Class 11 people, I can definitely ask how are your celebrations are going, because it's going to be fun. I'm fine. Happy New Year and advance and fine. I'm also doing great, beta. I'm doing great. Just waiting for this year to end. I'm hoping that everybody has a great life and things go well. That's all. So yes, all going fine, beta. Thank you so much. And yes, let's just move ahead without any disturbance and without any. Okay, there's a little 1 second. Yeah. So I was supposed to put that back. Yes. Now, there will be no voice in disturbance now. Let's just begin. There are a few upcoming batches which have already commenced, guys. So if you have not seen them yet, please go ahead and check. There are some batches which have commenced from the 21st of December already, which is already up and out. These are the prime batches for the commerce examinations. All right, Jagriti. Thank you, Vita. So yes, let's begin. These are the prime batches for commerce final examinations, which we have started on the 21st of December. Basically, for you guys to finally practice what you have learned, and mostly these are the revision batches which we have launched. Okay, the revision batches are for you to understand things in a much lighter way, where you can revise. Anita Acharya ma'am, Girish sir, Vishal sir, okay, Jaideep sir, all of them are taking these batches. You have Dr. Nitika ma'am, okay, these are the people. Along with them, we have more batches in which we also have class 11th CBSE batches, which has Pranjay sir, Vishal sir, Anita ma'am, Vikas sir, Vivek sir. These are basically the batches for the science students. Who have enrolled for the batches and who are waiting for the revision batches to begin. So the revision batches details are here with you guys. Go ahead and check them out. The doubt tolerant batches, which I've already started from the 21st for physics, maths, chemistry, biology. As you know that you guys have already prepared. Now it's the time to revise in a much beautiful way where at the end only revision matters the most, and here we are. So I'm hoping that you guys revise and score great marks, along with physics, maths, chemistry, biology. Another board on set of educators who are going to, make you take you through the doubt solving batches for final examinations of science. This again has commenced on the 21st of December, and the duration has been for 2 months. So prep up your shoes and just get going. Start with your revisions soon. One upcoming event which we'll always see in the learning app is going to be the Unacademy Ascent. I think this All India Championship for class 6 to 12th is a wonderful thing which Unacademy has given you guys, because you have full leverage to make sure that you can score, um, if not anything, at least scholarship up to rupees 5 lakhs every single month. So make sure that you have a look at all of it, go through it, check everything out. And here we go. Urmi Live has been my referral code, and you can use it for your subscription plans. No matter if it's for 1 month or if it's for 24 months, you can use my referral code and get a straight 10% discount on your Unacademy Plus subscription. Not just Plus, you can also get it for the Plus Iconic subscription. And as you can see the subscription prices, let me also warn you and tell you, definitely the prices are going to be increased. So it's better that you grab the opportunity now. For people who are thinking that, okay, arey ma'am nahi hoga na, it's okay na ma'am, it might increase. Next is the subscription plan के साथ साथ class 11th के साथ साथ class 12th also can use the same code if anybody is watching. There is one amazing thing which is starting and commencing from the 9th of Jan, that is Pen It Down. That's the subjective test series in which you would be learning accountancy, business studies, economics, history, political science and geography, which commences on the 9th of Jan. And please remember, this is the Unacademy Spend It Down subjective test series, only brought to you for your revision for humanities. Whatever you have studied just before your examinations, ace them, revise them, and subjective. This is not objective, this is subjective test series. Okay. Similarly, for class science, for class stream science, it is for the class of physics, chemistry, maths, and biology. This also commences on the 9th of Jan. Go ahead, check out your learning apps, and you will get all the details. And I'm sure all your educators have already pinned it up on their Telegram channels. If you would like to join my Telegram channel, the details are given below. My Unacademy profile link is given below. Go ahead and check it out. Ma'am, this is very interesting. Absolutely interesting, because um, you get to revise, you get to practice, you get to ask questions. Everything does in the pen it down section. Okay, so I'm really amazed with this. Okay, now before we start with today's Q&A, let me give you a brush up quickly. Last class we had already discussed everything about the methods of inquiry in a psychological inquiry. Method is basically yes ma'am, yes, correct beta. Methods of inquiry in psychological inquiry is most importantly about identifying the focus of research, developing a research question, defining key terms, understanding the methods, establishing a population, gathering the data, interpreting and sharing results. Now all these things are happening under one roof of data collection. Okay, When we speak about methods of inquiry, we have to understand it is about collecting the data, knowing what, and then we also have theories of psychological research and methods. Okay, there are different goals which are involved with this chapter. In this unit, we have studied about the types, okay, which are the common goals of inquiry. For example, starting from your description, then it leads to explanation, which has control, then it has prediction, and it has application. See, we have already studied the widespread amount of the goal psychological scientific goals of inquiry. It's description, explanation, prediction, control, and application. Why I'm brushing you through these units or these chapters quickly? Because we have already done it in the previous class, that is day before yesterday, and today's class is all about Q&A and the last slide of limitations. Previous class, we have done till limitations. Today I'm going to take you through limitations. Before that, I'm just giving you a quick revision because it's important for you to go through what we have studied in the previous class. Description is nothing but something where you are attempting to describe about one's behavior or a phenomena which is as accurately as possible. Now, here the researcher basically or the psychologist wants to know what is happening with the person. For example, a student, okay, if that student has an habit of scoring good marks, then that student must also be having habit of studying properly, planning the schedule in the right set of mind, uh, doing things systematically. Now, within a particular category, there may be further minute descriptions, but here the researcher needs to be and needs to understand how him or her can probably describe the meaning of the study habits, whatever he or she is observing. The description requires according regarding a particular recording of a particular behavior, which helps in understanding. Now, if you say that, okay, no, this problem has XYZ issue, how will you know that person has an XYZ issue? When you try to do a proper research on it, when you try to understand what is the issue that person is facing, when you try to understand what is the significance or what are the characteristic of a person which is going through that person and all those issues. Description plays a major role. Moving to description, we have prediction. Sometimes we try to assume things. Sometimes prediction is about just a forecast that this can happen. Today it might rain. Today it might be more humid. Today it might be more hot. This is an assumption where you can definitely have a certain area or margin of error. It is not 100%. It can be 20%, it can be 50%, it can be 99%, it can be 100% also, but a margin of error for sure is there. For example, on the basis of study, a researcher is able to establish a positive relationship between the amount of study time and achievement in different subjects. Okay, later if you come to know that a particular child devotes more time or study, okay, you can predict that the child is likely to get good marks in the examination. Okay, what do you mean by margin? Margin is basically beta the edge. It's the edge or the border what we are talking here. Okay, Dipesh, margin is basically here the border. Basically it is the division border. This is your margin, don't step out of it. So that's the margin. And here margin of error is you can have a percentage or an edge of error. You cannot be 100% sure. It can be a margin of error, that means there can be a doubt. It can be edge. So margin here basically is a side, an edge. Okay, something amount, a quantity of error, amount of error, that can be margin. Okay, Dipesh. Okay, I hope you have understood margin better. All right, fair enough. Great. So this can be when you are trying to predict, okay, that the child is likely to get good marks in the exam, but prediction becomes more accurate with the increase in the number of persons observed. Now, if you observe one student and say that, okay, this student can do better, or okay, if you observe more of them, that why there is a typical methodology, why there is a pattern, you will understand, that the recording or the observation which you have is better. is better on a scale where you're able to predict the right things. Okay, this is what is important in understanding what prediction is. Okay, next is explanation. Explanation is very important because explanation is the third goal of psychological, okay, inquiry, to know, okay, the causal factors that are the determinants of the behavior. Now, please understand, the psychologists have very well seen what are the factors which affect the behavior. Okay, you must have seen, uh, you know, say, you don't you understand that we sometimes say that okay, a person has become like this, उसके पेरेंट्स उसको बहुत तकलीफ देते थे, पेरेंट्स वर नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग ओनली, which made him go into depression. Okay, the teachers used to always humiliate that child in the class. That's the reason that child is suffering. He or she is identified to be weak because he or she is compared with the others. Okay. Hi Rakshit, ma'am, do you know how to become a geographer and various fields in geography? Absolutely. Um, so you want to be a geographer? That's great, beta. Um, See, geographer, first thing is it's a lot about the study of earth and atmosphere. It's about, you know, human activities which are affecting by all of these. And there are different fields of geography, very well I can tell you, because I have been an art student, and I might be able to brief you a little bit, if not all. Geography ke saath you can have different streams, okay, or subfields which you can get into. For example, climatology, where you're studying about the climate. You can get into the meteorological department where you're understanding the study of weather. You can get into the biogeography. You can get into geomorphology, where you study about landforms, where you study about the environmental objects, hydrology, water. Okay, all these things are uh, the career aspects of geography. But the most important thing is whether you want to do this um, geography and the study of geography from your own country or not, because most of the things, basically, when we consider geography as a main subject, when we're speaking about climate change analyst, okay, when you're trying to be a climatologist, where you can try to be a meteorologist, you have to study. You have to first do your career opportunities ke liye, first you have to do your graduation in geography, then you have to do your masters in geography, and then you can apply for being a surveyor, you can be apply for a drafter, you can be a government employee, okay, who's in this meteorological department, who can be into the geographical department, you can be a GIS specialist, you can be a climatologist, you can get into Discovery Channel, you can get into I think you can probably be a part of the what is that the Animal Planet channels. All these channels, along with your public sector and private sector, you have ample of opportunities. But I think the best person to tell you would be a geography teacher, that what are the fields which are still open. You know, environmental manager, a transportation manager, demographer, education has been one sector. You can get into research. Okay, so you have to pursue your BA in geography for 3 years, then you have to pursue your masters in geography for 2 years. In India or abroad, wherever you want, you can pursue your post graduation in MSc. You can do your MTech, with geography. You can. There are many streams which are open. So I think the graduations in geography gives you a better layer, broad concept and understanding of how many colleges you can apply for, because there are various colleges to offer this course, but you have to complete your honors or your specialization in geography to pursue the MA and masters. Ma'am, there is so many scope. Are a lot of scope, beta. Absolute great scope. Okay, in fact, if you go ahead and check on Unacademy Humanities itself, you can just search for Urmi Ma'am career in arts and humanities. Unacademy Humanities के अंदर ही I had done one video where I have told you the careers with arts. Go ahead and check that video out. You will be able to get through a lot many career scope options, uh, which are open to you all, and I think you can get into it. Ma'am, thanks for telling how to get job in climate offices. If I have to get MSc geography, beta, see, Rakshit, there are examinations. Okay, uh, you have to go through the examinations for that particular office. For example, UPSC or MPSC, these are the these are the examinations which you need to crack to get into a post. try to understand what is the exam which you have to go and give for being a climate uh, what do you call, a climate manager, or when you want to get into a climate office. And as I told you, I'm sure your geography teacher would be the best person to advise you and guide you with the exam which you need to crack and which you need to prepare. Okay. Okay, ma'am, I will check. Thank you. God bless you, beta. Anytime you can ask anything, no problems. Okay. So, okay, see, explanation. When you have to understand something, you need to have an explanation towards it. It gives you a determinant of understanding that person's behavior. Coming back to the track, this leads to control. Okay, you can control what and where your behavior is lagging. Have we all not heard that you have a lot of anger issues? You have to control your anger. Okay, don't we hear this quite often, that you have to control your anger? Okay, Rakshit. All right, beta. So, controlling is where you know that this is a particular behavior which is happening. Let me turn off the AC. Yes, it's very hot here in Goa. That's the reason I have AC on even in the month of December. All right. Okay. All right. So, yes, control is about the psychological behavior of a person which needs to be controlled as per the person wanting. Okay. Now, a better understanding about what control is, the change which is brought in a person's behavior can be a very good idea and, treatment in terms of understanding the therapy or understanding a control about a person. Next is application. Application is nothing but the final goal of scientific inquiry, which is to bring out the positive changes in the lives of the people. Okay, please understand, psychological research is conducted to solve problems in various settings. Now, application is basically nothing but you can bring a change. It can act as a counseling, it can act as a therapy, it can act as a method of doing certain things. For example, applications of yoga and meditation help to reduce stress and increase efficiency. What do you mean by that? It will help of that. Okay, it will help in these provided ways. Okay, Jagriti, one second. Who's that? Who's asking me? uh, Jagriti is asking, ma'am, the meaning of antecedent. Antecedent is basically beta something which is a kind of a preceding time to, or something which is existing, something which is happening. Okay, and here it's a past thing which we are talking about. Okay, okay, one second. Antecedent conditions. Beta, antecedents behavior here is about the events or the situations which have happened. Okay, it is about the circumstances which is happening by an operant response, by something I'm saying to you, and suddenly there is an antecedent condition behind it. So antecedent is what is happening to whom and what is present before and how the behavior is occurring is known as an antecedent condition. Is that okay, beta? Jagriti? Jagriti, clear? Okay, fair enough. So, these are the five psychological goals of inquiry, which are very important, which leads you to the conducting of research, of scientific research. Now, what are the conduction? How does the conduction happen? When there is a scientific method which attempts to study a particular event or a phenomena or a behavior, whether in an objective, systematic, or testable manner. Okay, please understand these are the characteristics which we are discussing in detail. So, what are they? They are conceptualizing a problem. These are about collecting data. These are about drawing conclusions. Conceptualizing a problem. First, you need to know why. What is happening? What is the basis of your research? What is it that you have to focus on it? Collecting data, it is the next thing. Why it is important? Because here you want to understand what is the next step in research to collect the data which will help you understand your research. Next is drawing conclusion. Drawing conclusion क्या होता है? Drawing conclusion here means why has it happened? You come up to a final verdict that okay, this is the reason, hence concluded, hence proved. This is your conclusion, where the purpose of the analysis is to verify a hypothesis and draw conclusions accordingly. This is very, very important, guys. Okay. Any questions still here before I move ahead? Any questions still here, beta, or do we move ahead? No, ma'am, all clear. Okay, others? Ma'am, what are the topics in arts, in fine arts? Please tell. In fine arts, but fine arts also has a lot of mathematics in it. I mean, you will have to draw, you will have to understand the statistics. So that is not easy. You will have many things, beta. But for fine arts, I won't be able to help you because fine arts is a very different stream altogether. Only a person who has done it will be able to guide you better. So you'll have to ask someone who has taken and who has studied fine arts, Jagrati. So try to ask someone who has studied fine arts better. Is that okay, Jagrati? Any other questions? It's okay, ma'am, no problem. Chalo. All right, fantastic. Now, next is revising a research conclusion. After what? After drawing a conclusion, you are revising it. See, now many times it happens that you do a course, complete your course, and then you have to revise it. Once your revision is over, you again re-revise it. Why? Because there might be some or the other error which you need to rectify, and for rectifying it, a continuous revising of the research conclusion is very important. Now, what happens is sometimes people research and sometimes they let go things, and suddenly there are more people who want to continue that research, and because they want to continue, they make sure that here the report is to support the hypothesis, which is very important, and unless the theory is confirmed, they keep doing it. Okay, there has to be an alternative hypothesis theory, which, and again, it is based on new data and drawing conclusion which may be verified with the few researchers. This is very important for you to know, which considerably has alternative to paradigms of research psychologist, which is about prediction, it is about internal and external forces, it can be observed, it can be measured, it can be controlled. So in order to achieve these goals, it is very important that the discipline of psychology for the large part of the 20th century is restricted itself to the study of its overt behavior. Now there's a difference between overt and covert. You have to understand what is internal, what is external. Okay, I have done this in the previous class also. If you haven't attended it, no problem, go ahead, check it back the previous class, and you'll understand the concept very clear, which includes the personal feelings, relationships, and meanings and experiences, etc. Next is the nature of psychological data. Okay, why do we study, or why a researcher attaches meaning to the data by placing in its proper context? Now, what is it? See, in psychology, different types of data or information are collected. Okay, some of these types are basically demographic information. Now this information includes personal information, it includes name, gender, all these things. Ma'am, your teaching is very nice. I liked it very much. I'm glad, Jagriti. Thank you, beta. God bless you. Okay. In this, there are two types. Now, when we are collecting data in psychology, demographic, जैसे ही आपको पता चलेगा, you need to understand the word demography means something to do with numbers. Okay. Why? Name, your age, the gender, the birth, the order, the number of siblings, how many people, what is the education, what is the occupation. It has a lot to do with the basics, and that's basically demographic information. Next comes with the physical information. Physical is nothing but the ecological conditions, whether you're staying in a rainy place, whether you're staying in a hot hilly area, desert area, maybe it's a forest where you're staying. Okay, all these things are basically considered. Mode of economy, whether you have proper condition, what is the size of the room where you're staying. In Mumbai, there are few places, few houses where people have no uh, hopes and scopes of staying together at one place under one roof. Facilities which are available to you, all these things. Okay, the neighborhood, etc., etc. These are the categories which come under the physical information. Next is physiological data. What is physiological? See, beta, you need to understand, guys, that studies of physical, physiological, and psychological data are collected, which are about height, weight, heart rate, level of fatigue. It is about your GSR, it is about the electrical activity. When you're sleeping, it's about the brain, it is about the sleep, it is about the blood pressure, it is about the patterns of dream, the amount of salivation, running, jumping. All these things are very, very important for you to understand what exactly is the physiological data. Moving to the next one, which is psychological. Psychology is what? It is your thought process, it is your intelligence, it's your personality, it is about your interest, it is about your values, it is your belief, it is whether you're judging, whether you are unable, whether you are able to understand or not. Okay, these are hallucinations, these are perceptual judgment, the thought process, the consciousness. Okay, all these things are subjective experiences. Okay, so please understand the above information is in the view of the measurement of somewhat crude, means very bland, something which is about interest, something about honesty, something which is about upmost and utmost understanding of what is honest. Okay, so these are about psychology and physiological so these are basically the data which is collected with demography, physiology, physical, psychological, or even about understanding what is a physical information. All right, मैम वीडियो रुक रुक कर आ ही रहा है. ओके, ऑल राइट बेटा, आई एम वेरी सॉरी, आई एम नॉट श्योर कि क्यों हो रहा है ऐसा. बिकॉज हियर देर इज़ नो लैग, सो आई एम नॉट श्योर. एक बार आप रिफ्रेश कर लो या ब्राउज़र बंद करके एक बार स्टार्ट कर लो, बिकॉज माई इंटरनेट इज स्टेबल. तो हो सकता है कभी कभार दूसरे साइड से भी प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है बेटा. Okay, so now in the previous section you studied about the variety of data, but now you have to understand that it is about observing. Observing क्या होता है? That's method. When you are observing something, you आप observe करके क्या बोलते हो कि अरे नहीं नहीं मैंने देखा था, अरे मैंने सुना था. Observing is about knowing. When you are experimenting it's different, when you are observing it's different, when you are doing a survey it's different, when you are doing a testing it's different, when it's a case study it's different. Here what you are trying to understand, it is the variety of data you collect in psychological studies. तो data किस तरह से collect होता है? Sometimes observe करके, sometimes you are collecting the data, sometimes you are doing a survey, sometimes you are trying to read what people are doing, etc. These are going to be studied in the following section. So what is the observation? पहला वाला observation method is जब आप किसी को देख के कोई चीज समझने की कोशिश करते हो, when you are trying to notice things. That is basic observational method. Next is selection. What do you mean by selection? Now, psychologists do not observe all the behavior that they encounter. They selectively learn about it. They selectively understand things. Okay, so as a researcher it is very important for a psychologist to learn things selectively. Jagriti, is the internet okay now beta? Is it stable now? Now it's coming, okay beta. All right, great. So, selection is when you are trying to encounter a kind of behavior where you are understanding what is happening. Okay. Next is nothing but recording. Now, what is recording? While observing, a researcher records which is a selected behavior using different means, understanding the tally कि क्यों हो रहा है, why is it happening, what is the difference, short hand symbols, long hand symbols, photographs. Okay, you are basically trying to record. अरे when you don't have your photographs, when you don't have the recordings, how will you prove कि आपने जो देखा वो सही है कि नहीं है? It's kind of a proof. Next is the analysis of data. Now, after the observations which have been made, psychologists analyze whether they have recorded with a view to derive some meaning out of it or not. Analysis is when you're trying to see what is the impact of the data, when you're trying to see what has been the way how you have understanding what is the way of deriving some meaning out of it. That's important. Okay, so please realize here it is about the data, it is about the analyzing of the data. Next is it is very important to know that making good observation is a skill, and a good observer knows what he or she is looking for. Okay, what are the methods which can be used to analyze the observation of behavior? A good researcher always understands. A good researcher always understands. Okay, may it be school, may it be hospital, may it be anything. There has to be a way, where the researcher needs to understand certain things. So observation skills play a very important role. Make sure. Now, if you read the box 2.1, it's there given in your textbook also, guys. Please make sure, again and again, I'm telling you, all the things which I'm teaching you is from your NCERT textbook. इसीलिए जब अपना कोई भी confusion ऐसा होता है कि अपने टेक्स्ट बुक में बुक, whenever I'm saying box 2.1, have a look at box 2.1. Okay, you will understand, and if you have any questions you can feel free to ask me. Once again, before we move ahead, let me tell you, if there are any questions about this chapter, or if there are any questions which you want to tell me कि मैम ये वाला chapter please पढ़ाइए, let me know. I will definitely take that chapter one more time for you guys. Don't worry. Okay, if you want some chapter to be taken, whether it is psychology, sociology, or entrepreneurship, write in the comment section. I will definitely take the class. मैम ज्योग्राफी एंड पॉलिटिकल साइंस कौन पढ़ाता है यूट्यूब पर? ओके, ज्योग्राफी आई थिंक इट्स वर्षा मैम, एंड हाय भानुप्रिया, हाउ आर यू? And pol science is, I think, if I'm not wrong, it's Nikki ma'am, I believe. I think she must be also taking it, pol science. Yeah, yeah. तो जस्ट एक बार चेक कर लो बेटा, जागृति, एक बार आप लर्निंग ऐप पे चेक कर लीजिए, जो भी स्पेशल क्लास लेता होगा उसकी यहाँ पे प्लस पे, सॉरी यूट्यूब पे भी क्लास होती होगी। आप एक बार अनअकैडमी ह्यूमैनिटीज़ का जो वीडियो है उस पर चेक कर लीजिए। मैम हम अच्छे हैं, आप बताओ? बस सब बढ़िया बेटा, आई एम होपिंग दैट सब ठीक है। सर को मेरा प्रणाम। आई होप एवरीबडी इज़ डूइंग गुड और आप लोग सब एकदम सेफ हो। लास्ट डे ऑफ 2020, आई होप कि आप लोग के एग्ज़ाम्स एकदम सॉलिड जाए। जियो, वर्षा मैम, और पॉल साइंस अंजलि मैम। सी देखो, भानुप्रिया ने हेल्प कर दिया। जागृति, सी आई टोल्ड यू ना, ज्योग्राफी आई नो वर्षा मैम इज़ रियली गुड, पॉल साइंस इज अंजलि मैम। दैट्स ग्रेट। ओके बेटा, थैंक यू भानु। ठीक है, सो नाउ हियर इन द पार्टिसिपेंट ऑब्जर्वेशन, सर के तरफ से भी आपको प्रणाम, थैंक यू। ओके, सो इन पार्टिसिपेंट ऑब्जर्वेशन, प्लीज रिमेंबर the observer has to learn about a group. Okay, the participant observation is about consuming. Okay, it is about ki, how are you seeing things, because you are interpreting things here. Okay, you are understanding, you're interpreting things here. Now, this leads to your experimental method. Now, what is the experimental method here? Which is generally constructed and established. Okay, conducted to hoga hi, but it is also constructed. Why? Because it has a cause-effect relationship between variables, between two variables. Now, what are the variables we are talking about? The effect. Okay, then there is a concept that the behavior is going to be done in two different ways. What is it? A stimulus and an event. अरे भाई, कोई ऐसा मारेगा तभी आपको यहाँ चोट लगेगी, पर चोट लगने के लिए किसी के मारने का भी तो इम्पोर्टेंट होना ज़रूरी है ना. So what is it? It is any stimulus or an event. Variables are basically of many types, but however, it can be either independent or it can be a dependable variable. Now, dependable variables represent the phenomena where the researcher is desiring to explain कि भाई क्यों हो रहा है, ठीक है, ऐसा क्यों expected था कि क्यों हो रहा है. But here we are also speaking about the independent variable which has a presence or absence in the person in that specific room. So these are the two variables which play a major role in any sort of experimental methods. I hope it is clear. Any questions still here, beta? Jagrati? Okay, all right, ठीक है. Super. Now, you have to remember that independent and dependable variables are all basically interdependent. See, all the science subjects, all the social science subjects are also interdependent on each other. They are basically interwoven with each other. Similarly, here the independent and dependable variables are also interdependent. Okay, neither of them can be defined without the other. It's like the apple and oranges, which are different but they all come in the fruit category together. Okay, any behavioral event which contains many variables, it takes place within a context. However, here what we are trying to talk about, that the researcher here is able to pinpoint the cause and the effect, okay, relationship between independent and dependent variables. Very important. Now, you can have questions because it's a Q&A session. I'm telling you again, you can have this question: what are the goals of scientific inquiry? Answer hona chahiye: description, prediction, explanation, control, and application. This can be one question which can come in your exam. Again, I'm telling you, what are the goals of scientific inquiry? The five goals which we have discussed. Write this answer, get a 6 marks straight. They can ask you a question on what are the process which goes through series of steps: conceptualizing a problem, collecting the data, drawing conclusion, revising research conclusion. These two questions are important. Again, it's from the book itself. These two questions are important. Please make sure that you read it again. Okay, there can be a question: differentiation between interview and questionnaire. What is it? What is an interview? What is a questionnaire? Interview is basically face to face. Questionnaire is basically what is about understanding and targeting about the same. Okay, so this is the difference between an interview and a questionnaire. Hope this is clear. Next is, what are the characteristics of a standardized test? Standardized test मतलब क्या होता है भाई? First thing is reliability. You need to have a set of belief or a pattern where you're relying on something. It has to have a consistency of scores. Reliability मतलब क्या? किसी चीज़ पे rely करना, किसी चीज़ पे भरोसा करना, to trust something, to imbibe your trust and belief over something. Okay, for this you can complete the following: test, retest reliability, which indicates a temporal stability, but it's a computed thing. It's find out by correlation by between the two sets of same people. Next is a split half reliability. It gives you an indication about the degree of intents. Consistency of the test is important here in split half. Next is validity. Now, for a test to be usable, it must be valid. Okay, and validity refers to the question: does the test measure what it claims to measure? Now, for example, if a test is for assessment intelligence, it should be testing intelligence, which is not aptitude. These are very tricky things, but this might come. Next is norms. Okay, a test becomes standardized if norms are developed for the test. Okay, so norm is the normal average performance of the group. And here you have to understand an administrator on the basis of large number of students. So their average performance standards are based in their age, sex, place of residence, etc. I told you demography, number game. This comes here. Okay. Now, reliability को brief way में book में कैसे समझाया गया है? Reliability is being explained like this. I gave you what are the three ones, the three characteristics. Now I'm telling you what is given in the book. If you go ahead and check it, please understand that it is clearly mentioned. One second, let me. Yeah, it is clearly mentioned reliability in depth, where your performance also comes, which requires a movement of objects from their respective places in a particular order. Okay, it is about the correlation between two sets of scores. It is about the basis of assumption. Okay, that items of a test, if they are from the same domain, which should correlate with each other. That's important. Next is psychological test, which is important. Now, please read these carefully. Okay, Rakshit is asking a question. Ma'am, if in civil service exam I passed interview, then sure it I get service of 24 services, or is it necessary to crack UPSC interview to get services? You have to crack better. You have to crack the UPSC interview to get any service out of the 24. And now they have changed a few things. For example, even if you're cracking the exam, after that you have to go through the interview for specifically for whichever stream you want to get in, or whichever job you are planning to get into. So for that interview thing, you have to crack the interview as per the stream you want to enter, which is very important data. Okay. Now, yes, moving to this, we have quantitative and qualitative methods. Okay. Again, I'm telling you guys, these are very easy and very simple. Quantitative is about the intelligence, the academic intelligence, the aptitude, every single thing which has quantity. Okay, every single thing which has an aggregate score in it. Sorry. Qualitative is basically about understanding the principles through experiences, not with the numbers. In this, it is about this basis of correspondent on the basis of a question, not about the numbers. Quantitative is numbers, qualitative is plain value of what you're studying. Okay. Now, also please understand that data are always not available from the forms of scores. Where the researcher uses the method of participant observation or unstructured interview, the data are generally in a descriptive form. Why descriptive? Because here the participant own words, field notes can be taken by the researcher. It can be about the photographs, it can be about an interview. Something about Charvi. Hi Charvi, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Okay, so research is not, the data is not always available in forms of scores. It can be quantitative, it can be qualitative. The methods are not contradictory, it can go on. Okay, so please remember, again and again I'm telling you, don't be rest assured that they'll be just going on with numbers. Next is limitation. Limitations can be called as the barriers. Limitations of psychologically inquiry basically are the lack of true zero point. Psychological measurements do not have a true zero point. For example, no person in this world has a zero intelligence. There must be one or the second person which will have either of the score. 0% के साथ कोई भी इंटेलिजेंस बिना आदमी, कोई भी आदमी बिना इंटेलिजेंस के नहीं होता है. So in psychological studies, these are not absolute in nature, rather they have relative value. So anybody tells you no intelligence, tell them ऐसा नहीं है. It's practically impossible. Next is the narrative nature, the subjective interpretation, which are mostly the qualitative aptitude or the psychological tools here. Okay, which moves you to the ethical issues. Now, very well, ethical issues kya hota hai? Voluntary participation, where the person wants to himself try and come, where the principal states that the person wants to conduct the study, whether he or she has a choice. Informed consent, when you are asking that person, the person is electric shock can be given a person, but you need to note down that I have requested, that person is happy with it, he's okay with it, no problem, we can go ahead, because it can be harmful or unpleasant as well. Okay, it can be debriefing. When the study is over, participants are provided with information to complete understanding of research. Key, if I am trying to do a research on you, won't I brief you about it? I have to tell you about it. That's debriefing. That's about the researcher should make efforts to remove the anxiety or effects of the participant, that don't worry, this is what I'm doing and this is going to help you. Okay, this is very important. And the next is sharing the results of the study. Now, why sharing the results of the study is important? Because here it is about collecting the information from the participants. It is very, very important for you to understand, because participants can also have expectations. So, this is the way you develop new highlights. And the last is confidentiality. Confidentiality is basically you cannot share what I am writing to you. I have to build that trust on you. If I'm giving you something, if it's a research, the identification list should be destroyed the moment research is done. You cannot show that, okay, dekho, this person's research, I did see what he has written, what she has told, what problem he has. It should be passed on other understood. It cannot be passed to another parties. It's not good. It has to be confidential. Okay, with this we complete our methods of inquiry in psychology's second part of Q&A, also with the entire revision of the chapter. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Thank you for watching the video. Wishing you a very happy new year in advance, and I am going to see you at the Unacademy Humanities YouTube video in directly 2021. Thank you once again with lots of love. Professor Urmi Chakravorty signing out. Okay. Ma'am, now ask me something interesting. Anything else? Okay, Rakshit, anything else? But yeah, jokes apart, I have one more class now, so I cannot have fun right now. So let me just move ahead for the next class. All of you take care of yourself. I'm going to see you in 2021. And if there are any questions and any chapters you want me to take, put it across on the comment section. Stay safe, stay well, take care of yourself. Happy New Year, guys. Bye bye.